Today I have discussion ideas so that you can discuss a strange thing happened in Cherry Hall with your kids. Hi, I'm Mary Wilson. I lead book clubs online for kids, and in my 8 to 10-year-old group last month, we discussed the mystery book, A Strange Thing Happens in Cherry Hall. This was such a delightful book. It was very reminiscent for me of the Mixed Up Files of Miss Basil E. Frankenweiler. I think not just because it's an art thief, it's happening in an art museum, there's an art theft, and it's a not siblings, but it's a boy-girl friend pair that are working to solve the crime, but also many of the themes in this book. And that is one of the things that I would discuss with your kids when you read this, which is a great thing because discussing the idea of theme with 8 to 10-year-olds can be tricky. It's a little bit more of an abstract concept than discussing, events and characters and things in the book that they are more comfortable with. But I think this book makes it really tangible for them. So we discussed the theme of feeling unseen and the importance of making people feel seen. So the painting that is stolen in the book is called Untitled. And at the end of the book, a mystery unravels, and it turns out there's a second painting behind it called Look. So we go from Untitled and feeling people who are feeling unseen to a painting called Look and people who are finally feeling seen. So one of the questions I asked the kids is I said, who is someone or something at the beginning of the book that feels unseen or is being unseen, and by the end of the book feels differently, feels seen? So I said, who or what is something that goes through that change and what makes them feel more seen? So we talked about characters. Rumi, the boy, talks about it a lot, that he feels unseen at school, he's lost his friends, and by the end he has made a friend. The little turtle Agatha, she talks about it. The painting, a few kids pointed out that the museum itself went from being unseen and no one visiting it to being seen because of the theft. So there's a lot of people in this book. And again, anytime I'm discussing with kids, accept all of their thoughts, accept all of their answers, and then ask them, oh, what makes you think that? Right? So even if they mention someone that you're not quite seeing it fit into the theme, explore it a little with them and then share someone that you feel fits into the theme. Not just looking for right answers here. We're exploring this concept in the literature, right? Okay. One of the other things I would discuss is Agatha the turtle. The kids loved Agatha. She has an important role to play in this book. So I asked them, how did you feel about Agatha? Did you like having a turtle? What was her importance in this book? Was it believable? Did you enjoy it anyway, even if it wasn't? We talked a bit about her, which I would like to add while we're talking about Agatha here. 8 to 10-year-olds in particular love to talk about the cover of a book. They just love it. I have discovered that most of them in my book club, somebody will often bring up the cover. So talk about the cover. What makes this a great cover after you've read it? Is there anything about the cover that feels misleading? They love those kinds of questions. All right. And then talk about Rami and Veda as a team. How do they work well together? What are his strengths? What are her strengths? What are their weaknesses? Where do you see them relying on each other to work as a team? All of those kinds of questions. And finally, because in my monthly book club, I always have a focus for that month. And our focus for this book was the hook, the opening hook. How does an author try to get your attention in the book? And for 8 to 10-year-olds, I mean, you could always say, like, how did you feel when you read the first chapter? What caught your attention? How do you think the author was trying to make you interested in the book? I like to give them a little bit more to hold on to. So I might say, wow, when I read this first chapter, I felt like the author was trying to pull me into the book by surprising me. Was anything in this opening really surprising to you? Did you see that? And that at least gives them something to look for and discuss, and then they can always add to it. Did you see anything else the author was maybe doing in this book. So then you can open it up to their own ideas as well. But sometimes it's really nice. Sometimes I'll start with it opened up, and if they kind of seem lost, not quite understanding how to answer that, then I'll drop in it seemed like a really surprising opening to me. I mean, it starts with the turtle, so that's pretty surprising. Such a fun book to discuss. Highly recommend this one. And if you would like to know more about my online book clubs, there are links below. The best one to join is to get on my email list, because I send out the information in just a weekly newsletter, and then you can find everything there, updates on any openings and new classes that are available. All right, thanks so much for tuning in, and happy book discussions.